Welcome along, everybody, to CBS Sports Network, Paramount Plus, to our hour-long post-game show on the Champions League show here. Kate Abdo, Thierry Henry, Jamie Carragher, Micah Richards. It is good to have you with us. We're so glad you chose to join us. Yes, thank you so much.
You call him Micah, not Big Meeks, no?
Oh, sorry. Only in the intro do you get called Big Meeks, really.
Oh, OK, sorry.
Anyway, so 2-2 was the final score. Penalty for each side between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. Was it a fair result, did you think, Micah? Did it reflect the game?
I thought Bayern were the better team in terms of the metrics, like Jamie said, you know, passes, possession, all that sort of thing. But it doesn't matter. Why are you looking at me like that, Jamie?
You've never want to done your case?
No, I know.
No, you said the metrics.
I know. I was just laughing at you. It didn't sound... You saying the metrics... It just...
What, it didn't sound right?
No, I don't know. I don't know. It was my word, wasn't it?
Well, I was just saying that your word. But I think the overall game... Basically, Bayern overall were probably the better team, but Real Madrid, they dug in and got the draw in the end.
Jamie, anything to add?
The metrics?
No, I agree with Micah. You know, the metrics, the stats, whatever you want to call them, they were in Bayern's favour, weren't they?
Oh, my God.
What does it mean in terms of going into the second leg? Because obviously, I think we already generally thought, when you're thinking of the tie across the two legs, you thought of Real Madrid as the favourites. Has anything changed?
No, I think that'll really hurt Bayern Munich tonight, psychologically, because they were the better team and they played really well and they still didn't win at home. And there's this feeling, I think, with Real Madrid, whoever comes up against them, because I've written them off so often. Champions League final against Liverpool, I couldn't see how they'd beat Liverpool, but they beat them. Beating Manchester City in the last round a couple of years ago, beating Manchester City, and you're scratching your head thinking, how's it happened? But they've done it again in terms of getting a result here. I would say all the second leg goals, but I think for Bayern Munich to play so well as they did and still not win the game. I mean, I don't know how sort of, you know, psychologically they'll be able to believe they can go to sort of the Bernabeu and get through. You agree with that, Thierry?
Yeah, but, I mean, we go back to the same thing. I said it the other day. Doesn't matter who ran the most, who had the most chances, who had the most possession. With Madrid, it's about taking your chances. And yes, again, we're going to talk. It's pretty obvious. You don't take your chances. You don't do much with what you have when you're on the ball. And that's up to you. Madrid will. You know, we can take the Leipzig game, and you look at it and you're like, how Seško didn't score 3, how Openda didn't score 3 in Madrid. You take the Man City game, you're like, oh, they didn't touch the ball. Well, they scored 4 goals, though. 3 there and 1. And again today, 2. Yes, you can say if, there's a lot of ifs at the end of the day. When it comes to Madrid, there's a lot of if all the time. I've been in that situation. You're like, okay, you play against a big team. You have them. You don't. You don't. They execute stuff. That's what they do. That's why you have 14 obviously Champions Leagues.
Well, over there in Munich, Peter Schmeichel and Guillaume Balaguer watched this game live for us at the stadium over there. Let's find out their thoughts. What did you think, gents?
Well, do you know, it's amazing when you watch a game on TV and then you watch it live, how different you see the game. So what I'm hearing here is the studio actually thought Bayern Munich played really, really well. I don't think they did. I think they were very slow in the first half. They made some tactical changes, yes, and it was a little bit better in the second half, but they weren't really threatening anything. And we were sat there talking about, well, they're up against Real Madrid. They will hit them back. And you know, being 2-1 up, they should be a bit disappointed. Defender Kim on the first goal, I don't know what Kim's doing. I don't know why he's giving that penalty away. They could have won, but they didn't play well. Do you think they played well?
Quite clearly, there were periods, 20 minutes in the first half and 15-20 minutes in the second half, that you were asking Bayern to actually speed things up, and they did. And when they did, they got a result. I find fascinating what happened in the first 20 minutes, in which Real Madrid were like, it doesn't matter, we're inferior, we're conceding goals, we'll have our moment, goal. And in the second half, exactly the same. They go 2-1 down, doesn't matter, we'll have our chances, and then eventually they come. So that's the head.
It's amazing to watch Real Madrid play live in the stadium. There's no panic at any time. The manager, Ancelotti, is just so calm. All the players, they go 1-0, 2-0 down, 2-1 down, sorry. And it's just calm. There's no panic. They just get along with. And you always sit there with a sense of them striking back. And of course they did again today.
And the atmosphere.
Oh,
just one word for it.
I've been here a lot of times. This is the best I've ever been.
Constant, noisy, affecting the teams, both teams. It was a great spectacle. One of the big
And what's it going to be next week, eh? What a drama.
Well, Peter,
Yes.
Peter, would you like some company tomorrow? And we'll see if the Westfalen Stadium can match Munich.
Do you know what? Are you coming?
I'm coming, yeah.
I'm telling you what you're in for tomorrow, okay?
Go on.
The Yellow Wall singing "You Never Walk Alone."
Well, how
Never
about
seen anything like it.
me and you join the Dortmund fans in the Yellow Wall and sing "You'll Never Walk Alone"?
No, I'm never going to sing that song.
Okay, I will sing it, but we need to get in the Yellow Wall.
We can go into the Yellow Wall, yes, but I'm
Okay.
not going to sing that song.
Thomas Muller is waiting there, by the way.
See who we got here.
Ask him to sing "You Never Walk Alone."
I'll tell you what, you get that.
They're gonna put you in touch with the studio. They're gonna put the studio into your ear.
To speak to the studio.
Michael Richards, Jamie Carragher, and of course
So
Thierry.
we're just lining Thomas up here. Played
Perfect.
his 150th game for Bayern Munich. Only the third player ever in the Champions League history to do that. So you're in the company of Iker Casillas and Xavi. That's not bad company, is it?
It's not bad. It's not bad. You have to sleep well, eat well, to reach this. In my age, normally you need a wheelchair.
So I'm going to give you this microphone and then prepare yourself for some really, really tough questions.
No problem. No problem.
Thomas, welcome. Do you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you. Thank you.
Are you feeling like an old man?
No. Today I felt very good, but Giovanni is listening. The tactics for the next game. I felt quite.
Let me
Bring them
introduce you
in.
to Trump.
Bring them in.
bring
The
him
two of
in.
yous. Get the two of them.
What's up?
He's coming later. No, I felt quite good, but in the end, I'm not satisfied with this draw. But that's Real Madrid. You know it. You saw it. You saw it twice against City. You saw it the last years. You see it in every game. So you have to be careful in every minute. Yeah, Tony, was is? Tony Kroos is laughing, but he knows. He knows it's always the same. So I'm not happy today, but it was okay.
Thomas, this is Thierry.
Hi, Thierry.
I wanted to ask you a question about your positioning on the field and where you were every time in between the fullback and the centre back to make sure that they were not going to jump, especially in the first half with Leroy Sané coming in and Musiala. You switched it in the second half because they played high and wide and Guerrero took the same position as you were doing on the other side. How do you feel playing in that position and doing that job?
I think it doesn't matter in which position you are. When you are an offensive player, you always have to be on the jump to be in between. That the defenders always have to think and to decide. And maybe there is a second they decide wrong, and that's all about. So you always have to come to the edge. When Antonio Rüdiger is thinking, okay, maybe it's a little bit too wide to jump out, and then maybe I have space. And when he jumps out, maybe the space opens behind him. So 90 minutes, it's always the same game. When you are not able to, like you or Jamal or Leroy or these kind of guys, Vinicius, when you're not able to take the ball in your own half, dribble 10 guys and score a goal, then you have to get the guys of the other team moving. And when they move wrong, you have to be there.
That's my point, because on the penalty and on the first goal, you knew Leroy Sané was high and wide. You could have controlled that ball. You let it go because you knew you were going to give him time in a 1v1 situation, and him being on the other side, because in the first half he was on the left. And then in the second half also, I like the way you went behind the Real Madrid player to receive that ball for the second goal, on the penalty. Then you drove forward to release that ball this time to Musiala. So I just wanted to say, like I always said, how a great of a player you are and how you use your brain in any situation. So well done. Because the two goals were thanks to you.
For me, it seems simple, but I know what you mean. I always wondering sometimes when I see player, they don't do that easy stuff to make their life easier. But in the end, it worked well today in some kind of situations. But 2-2 is not what I want.
Thomas, a few months ago you were very passionate in an interview, I think, after you lost at Bayer Leverkusen.
Yes, right.
I mean, what has changed since then to now to give you the belief you can get through to the Champions League final?
I think the games and the win over Arsenal gave us a little bit kind of self-confident, kind of not the team spirit when you go out and drink a beer together. It gave us maybe the belief and maybe this kind of, I said this Conny Lima feeling when he's hunting Ødegaard like a dog and to yeah. Maybe you know the story. And this kind of winning feeling gave us a little bit more belief in ourselves, in our to be a little bit more aggressive. And in the last couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, we are in a good mood. We're playing better. We're playing not perfect, but we're playing better. And yeah, I wanted to say I'm happy that I understood your question. I was feared when you got to the microphone.
Thomas, just a quick one. How is Harry Kane settling in? How's his German coming along?
Now, his German is not that bad as you think. Maybe when you score 40 plus goals, you think maybe he does not have to learn it. But the numbers, he can deal with the numbers, and it's quite good. And we are happy with him.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's
multilingual.
That's great. So see you next week, guys.
See you. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you.
It's ahead of the second leg at the Santiago Bernabeu next week. I mean, look, this is a clash of 2 European heavyweights, but neither side are really in their pomp, are they? Is that what we saw on the pitch today, do you think, Michael?
Cool. I suppose they're not in their pomp in a way, but Real Madrid's continue to win, Champions Leagues in recent years. It's still a phenomenal team. Bayern Munich, yeah, you could say that. On paper, they're a very good team. They've underperformed, no question about it, this season, apart from in this competition. So it's still a cracking tie. 2 huge heavyweights of this competition, and we still can't split them. So, and in the other tie as well, you've got, a newcomer that a lot of people fancy now, Paris Saint-Germain. Never won it before. I still think the winner of this tie will win the Champions League personally, and I think it's just advantage Real Madrid.
And it's the advantage that Real Madrid will have at home as well. But with both of these sides, it's that mentality, isn't it? It's that mental leap that both of them can take when it gets to this stage of the competition. That's probably what will set them apart next week, won't it?
Certainly Real Madrid, and they've proved that over the years, the recent years. I see both teams scoring in the second leg, which makes it intriguing. I don't see anyone with a clean sheet in there. So I just think, it's going to be who takes your chances. Tonight, the 4 goals for me, there was 4 big mistakes that were made, and the goals were scored that way. In the second leg, it might be a bit of inspiration. It might be a bit of, a fantastic goal that comes from somewhere. So you don't know who's going to win this time. You really don't. Favourites, yeah, Real Madrid, because they're back at home, and at 2-2 you think they're going to go on, but don't count this Bayern set. You saw how they broke against Arsenal away from home. This team have got legs in the team. They didn't play some of the players that had pace. They might go with a second leg and hit them on the counter. So it's so nicely poised, it really is.
It really could be anyone's, couldn't it? Which makes it even more intriguing. It was 1-0 to Real Madrid at half-time, even though that was very much against the run of play from the first half. But early on in the second half, Bayern brought it back to level, and it was Leroy Sané with a fantastic strike.
Yeah, a bit of a solo goal, wasn't it? I thought, this is him coming out at half-time earlier than anybody else. He's got a bit of a hip injury, we think, and he just needed to keep it warm. But it's certainly, he was warmer than everyone else because he got the ball cut inside lovely. It was very much an individual goal. However, I do think it's worth mentioning the overlap here from Kimmich. Yeah. Mendy, as much as it doesn't affect him massively, Mendy would be totally concentrating, on the ball, on Sané here, if it wasn't for Kimmich. So Kimmich just takes him away a little bit. Enables him to close. And you thought the goalkeeper maybe here, Glenn?
Yeah, I think from that, listen, it's gone in with power, but any goalkeeper here, from that angle, you can't get beat. You can't get beat on your near post. If you get beat across the goal, fair enough. But he'll be disappointed, the keeper. I really think he will. Most goalies, if you put that on in training, from that angle, you don't get beat in the near post.
Yeah, and look how that goal came about as well, Michael. dominance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, almost
Bayern.
a switch of play once and a switch of play twice back across here. Isolate the man, and it was 2v1 in this.
And that's
in this
where
corner.
Tuchel would put him out there. He played on the left-hand side, and I think it helps him on the right-hand side. We've seen so many players in so many teams, left-footers coming inside, and opens things up. And that little overlap that Michael just explained just made enough space. Cruz couldn't get across. No one could get across in the covering position on the inside. And that's what they didn't have first half.
Yeah, and Steve McManaman made a good point in commentary. The way they switched, the wide players both switched at half-time. So you got your left footer on the right and right footer on the left. But that's how teams tend to play nowadays.
Yeah.
Surprising maybe that they didn't go with that at the start, but it certainly worked because it was him first time, and then 2 minutes later it was Musiala on the other side winning a penalty.
Yeah, and Thomas Tuchel's done that before with Chelsea as well, at half-time switching the wingers over. But anyway, look, Bayern were able to get level, and then they took advantage. 4 minutes, 4 seconds between two of their goals. The second goal was a penalty. Let's take a look at the incident first of all. You said before we went to the break that both of these penalties were clumsy. Looking at the first one, Lucas Vazquez on Jamal Musiala. I mean, there was no need for this, was there?
Well, he's got him on his heels. He's got him going. Musala's attacking him there, and it's an awful challenge to stick your leg out like that and just clout somebody in your leg. And he goes, it's the easiest penalty that anyone's going to have to make a decision. The referee was fantastic, by the way. I thought Clement what's his name?
Two pens.
Two pens.
Two pens.
Two pens. There was 2 pens, yeah. And I thought he was absolutely magnificent tonight. He let the game flow, as the lad said in commentary. But it was an easy penalty to give. You've got to say it was nailed on.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still laughing at the 2 pen. Look, let's take a look at... Well, we've been talking a lot about Kane and Bellingham, haven't we? How they're going up against each other's two of England's stars. But there was a little bit of housery, wasn't there, from Jude Bellingham as Kane was about to take his penalty. We're going to hopefully speak to Harry and see what happened here. What do you think Jude's saying here? He's not saying good luck, mate, is he?
I would doubt it. I doubt it. And I think the referee sees, like, Bellingham gives him a little wink, doesn't he, to say, oh, well, he's my mate, I can say what I want type of thing. And the referee let it go for a little bit. Hopefully we hear from Harry Kane and find out. I can imagine that he was shutting anything and everything out at that point.
He didn't even look at him.
He's very good at focusing in that moment, isn't he? So did it either.
And we talk about Harry, and we said, you know, before, big player, big moment. I mean, he is made for a competition like this, isn't he? This is exactly why he made the move to Bayern.
Without a doubt. I mean, his penalty taking is just sensational, isn't it? You know, he's never going to miss.
7 in 7 now.
Yeah, and he's changed it a little bit, hasn't he? Where he just makes that little hesitation now he's put in there, which is the right thing, because he's taken so many penalties over the years. Goalies are going to know where he's going, his body shape, but now he's put that little dummy in. It's made it even harder. But again, it's lovely to see him in a semi-final scoring goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, we saw that first penalty. If Lucas Vazquez was clumsy, this from Kim on Rodrigo, Glenn, was even more clumsy and even more unnecessary, wasn't it?
Vinicius does really well here. He looks here and he looks like he's going to go in and say, look, bring me down. But what a cute little ball. Kim's on the wrong side. He's not on the wrong side because the ball is so cute. He's made him on the wrong side. He's tried to make the attempt at the tackle. Again, it's an easy decision for the referee. It's again nailed on penalty, but what a lovely little ball from Vinicius, really cute. And
not just a ball through. Yeah. It was, as you say, on the right side, away from the defender. Sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. I didn't think it was the greatest pen in the world, I must admit. If the goalkeeper goes the right way, probably saves it. I happen to think Kim's challenge there was clumsy, but I thought the first one was more clumsy. Yeah, dangling the leg, especially when you're running it, you know, bringing him inside. There was 2 or 3 players that were just about to pick the ball up. Whereas Kim, it might have been a last ditch. We were debating whether Dyer would have got across. Maybe not. But 2 clumsy challenges and both penalties. The referee did really well on both.
Well, you've got to feel a little bit sorry for Kim. He was in for delict today, wasn't he? And he was, you could say, is at fault for the opening goal from Vinicius Junior, because this is when Bayern were completely on top. They'd had 6 shots before Real Madrid had even scored their goal. And we saw Vinicius Junior there scoring the second. He scored the first as well. What a start.
Yeah, it was a good start. I mean, it's your job as a striker, as an attacking player, to pose problems, to give the defender, you know, questions to answer. Vinicius here, I don't think he had any intention at all of coming to get the ball to feet. It's one of the It's one of the first runs you learn as a centre-forward. Just come off, try to suck the defender out. We mentioned at half-time the goalkeeper. I think Neuer can be a little bit further off his line, because when you see where Vinicius ends up hitting it from, it's only about 13 or 14 yards. It's just outside the penalty spot. So I think he can come. But, I mean, it's great play. It's a great ball by Kroos. I mean, he makes it reasonably easy for him, doesn't he, I think?
He's even pointing to him. He's got his head up, his eyes are looking. He lays it so he can hit it first time. But from Kim's point of view, as a defender, when an attacker comes off you to make them sort of dummy runs, you don't sprint in, you go in stages. And he never did it. He went in one run really quick, gets caught square, and then the ball in behind, and Vinicius did him completely.
You could
the run that you made.
I'd love that. I'd love that. Yeah, I mean, that's, I'd say, that's one of the first ones you ever learn as a centre forward. But the worst thing as a centre forward is if you come off and you see the defender, he's cottoned on to what you're doing, but he's still 5 or 6 yards away. He's just saying, right, I know what you're doing, and I'm threatening. And he's almost threatening the ball not to be played, because by the time the ball is played and then comes to, it's only 5 yards for him to make up. He can make that, and by the time you get it, he's right on you. So you don't have to get close. No. You have to protect the space, always. That's the main...